How do you invest in real estate when prices are this high? My name is Kris Krohn, and I've been investing in real estate for 20 years. I've transacted on thousands of deals. And today I want to talk about how you invest in real estate when you have $5,000, when you have $25,000, or when you have $50,000, because there's a way to invest in real estate with all three of those amounts. Check it out. Now listen, in the last few years, the price of the real estate market has increased significantly in many areas of the country. This has made it very tough for investors to actually get into the game of real estate. And the number one complaint I get from people on my channel is, Kris, like, this is great. Thank you for the knowledge and the information, but I can't invest. Like, it's too difficult. The market has outpriced me. Like, what do I do? And I will admit, it is tougher to buy real estate if you're new to the game. If you're experienced like me, nothing changes. Like, it's all the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of my experience and I'm going to break it down and help you understand what has happened in the market and why is it still just as viable and easy to invest today as it was 5 years ago. The very first house that I bought, I got for $110,000. Like, I want you to just think about that. It was a cute little home, 3-bedroom, 1-bath upstairs, built in the 1940s. That is a basement, 1 bedroom in the basement that I would rent for like $550 a month. And literally that was enough to cover my mortgage payment. And so back then, a 3% down payment was $3,300. And I get that real estate in the last 20 years has dramatically changed. Like, that house now is more like $250,000, and a 3% down payment on that is probably gonna be closer to like $7,500. And so the world has changed. And while people will tell you that it affects you a lot, I'm here to tell you that there are still ample strategies today, whether you have a little bit of money, a medium, or a lot, to be able to go into the market and successfully transact real estate. First of all, let's back up and talk about why the price of real estate keeps going up. The news outlets are going to give you a variety of reasons, where they're going to talk about politics or Biden economics, but it really all just comes down to one thing, and it's not even inflation. The biggest reason why the price of real estate continues to go up is because we had one of the largest financial crashes called the Great Recession. Like, what happened in 2008 was the worst financial market we've seen since the Great Depression in the 1930s. And so what happened in 2008? Well, basically the stock market crashed and we had too many homes. This is key. We had too many homes. We built more homes than people needed. And the price of real estate, what something is worth in real estate, is only what someone's willing to pay. So when all the people have all the homes they want and we still have leftover homes, guess what happens? The price drops dramatically. You see 2005, 6, and 7, a bunch of greedy people were like, man, my home keeps going up in value. You know what we should do? We should just build a home that we don't need and then sell it because it'll probably go up $100,000. And that worked for a lot of people until it didn't. In October, the crash of 2008, it decimated the real estate market in such a bad way. And think now about what's happening in our economic machine after 2008. No one is building real estate anymore because we have too many homes. That means that everyone in carpentry and house building and land development, basically for years, almost like 5, 6, 7 years, they had nothing to do. But 2014, 5 years later, we still hadn't built any homes, except population had increased, and now there was a demand for the first time in 5 years for real estate again. All of a sudden, people needed homes because we ran out. So we used up all the excess inventory. Now we don't have enough. And from 2014 to 2024, over the last decade, we have now been caught in a catch-up game where population has outpaced real estate. And so now we're missing millions of homes. Experts claim it's on the conservative side, 3.2 million homes, and on the high side, it's over 6 million homes that we're missing. And if you want to know why the price keeps going up, it's because we have a monster demand and too little of a supply. And it'll take us about a decade before we can really catch up if we keep building as many homes as we possibly can. And eventually, maybe a decade from now, we're going to experience another major crash in the cycle. But in the meantime, expect the price of real estate to keep going up. Hence, I'm making today's video saying, if prices keep going up, how can you get in the game of owning real estate or investing in real estate? And I promise you, it's just as easy today nearly as it was a decade ago. Let me show you how. In today's video, I want to explore 3 different methods for investing in real estate. And the first one is for someone that has a few $1,000s. What I have here in my hand is 5,000 US dollars. This is 50 Benjamins. And in most parts of the country, this isn't even enough for a 3% down payment. So the first strategy that I want to give you is that you can invest in a public traded fund that invests in real estate. I happen to have a publicly traded fund. It's called the Kronos Real Estate Fund. And what it does is it uses a strategy I've used for the last 20 years. It buys all of these homes in the top markets and it rents them out and has people basically buying these homes for you and I that are a part of this fund. And in that fund, we are averaging 27 7% a year on our money. So I want you to think about that for a second. And based on the last several thousand homes that I've done, we're looking to average around 27% a year on our money. So what's cool is even as little as $3,000 is what it takes to get into the fund. And now all of a sudden you're a real estate investor. And it doesn't matter that the house now is $250,000 or $500,000. There's still a way for you to invest. And just so you know, even if you started with $5,000 and invested in a fund earning those kind of ROIs over 20 years, that takes a small amount of money and grows it into hundreds of thousands of dollars. Not a bad option. Next, let's talk about someone that has saved up $25,000. You said, I don't really believe in the 401k, the IRA. I'm just going to keep that money. I'm going to stash it away and I want to invest on my own. So Kris, what can I do with real estate with $25,000? Answer, quite a bit. The median national home in America right now is around $430,000. But in many places around the country, you can buy a house below the median for $250,000 to $300,000. Let's just say for a moment that this is a $300,000 house. If you wanted to put a 3% down payment, you're looking at $10,000. So if you have $25,000 saved up, you got $10,000 to basically buy the home and house hack. Get some roommates, rent out a part of this to family, or move out later and just rent out the whole house. Let them buy the house for you. It didn't even take the full $25,000. So whether you needed to furnish it because it could have been an Airbnb strategy, or maybe it was a house that you were going to fix and flip and drop on the market again, or it was just going to be a buy and hold where you move a family in and say, it's your job to buy this house for me. $25,000 is enough to get your feet wet in the game of real estate. By the way, you could put $10,000 down on a home and put the other $15,000 in the Kronos fund, and now you'd be invested in multiple properties. So the last option today is, okay, Kris, what if I've saved up $50,000? Well, $50,000 in some parts of the country is enough to be a tidy 20% down payment to do traditional real estate investing. If you've got that lying in a 401k, an IRA, or even equity in a home, look at taking that out and putting it in the game of real estate. The average American as of 2024 has $304,000 of equity in their home. That means that their house, if it's worth, $600,000, it's half paid off and they only owe $300,000 on it. They have $300,000 of equity. I don't believe you should leave that equity in your home. It might feel good like it's getting paid off, but if you don't have the money you need for retirement, you should be investing that money. So pulling it out and saying, hey, here's $50,000. Kris, what can I do? Well, you've got options. The first thing you can do is venture into suburbia where the price of real estate starts coming down, and look for homes in a price range that $50,000 might be sufficient for down payment. And you can go venture on your own and have your own little real estate experience. Forbes says that the average investor makes 10% a year when they invest their money in real estate. I also give you a second option. People will actually partner with me and say, you know what, Kris, you're investing in the top 5 out of 324 markets. You're an expert and you know what you're doing. Could I literally put this $50,000 in a partnership with you and let you do all the work? What could happen then? Well, I'm not earning 10% like Forbes says for the average mom and pop investor. On my last 2,130 rentals over the last decade, I'm averaging 60.65% on the money, which means that $50,000 over the next 20 years could literally turn into $12 million. Now, if we're in a 50-50 partnership and that's half for you and half for me, that's $6 million for you, $6 million for me. And that's you working with an expert that has done this time and time again. So there's an option to go do it on your own or partner up with an expert. And either way, start making money in the market right now. And by the way, that's $6 million totally passive, because I have a team of 200 experts that go into the marketplace and we transact all of the real estate and cause these ROIs to happen. So whether you want to get your hands really dirty and do it yourself and go to Home Depot and talk to tenants, you can have that experience, or you can partner up with me. You're going to lose half of the money that's made, but you're going to make the most money that you can by working with one of the biggest experts in the field. Listen, whatever choice you're going to make, there's a plan. In fact, if you click the link below, I'm going to give you 3 choices. One is, hey, I do want to put $3,000, $5,000, or whatever $1,000 into your Kronos public fund. You'll see a link for that. Or you might say, you know what, Kris, actually, I want to partner with you. I have $50,000 or more. I'm going to click the partner link and you could do that. And today I'm going to give you a third link if you just don't know what to do. And I'm going to call it Get a Free Game Plan, which is just connect with me and the team and say, here's my situation. Like, what would you do? I mean, for all I know, you're sitting on $1 million, or even if you have no money whatsoever, there's a game plan for you to get started. Because when I got started in real estate, I literally had nothing. Whether you're successful or just starting out, click the link below and either learn about investing in my public fund, the Kronos fund, learn about partnering with me, or just get a free game plan, and I'll help you find the option that's going to work best for you. Now, you may have noticed in today's video that I said that out of 324 markets, I only invest in the top 5. And you might be curious where those markets are that are getting me those really high, crazy high ROIs. And if you must know, I made a video for you. You can click right here. Let me show you the top 5 markets right now.